go ahead and read yours and I'll try to picture it in my mind.
On a dark Halloween night that was very cold, me and my cousins were out trick-or-treating and we saw a Take One house. We all ran up to it and started grabbing candy out of a small basket on an iron stand. When I look to my left and I see people sitting in a car watching us, and I say to Paul, "I think the owners are home," and we ran through the squishy mud back to the road and escaped.
That was really good. I liked that you described the iron of where the basket was at. That was good. I felt like I could picture it a lot better. And I liked the squishy mud part too. That was probably really good. I really liked it, but maybe if I had to pick something for you to add, I would say describe maybe how you felt when you saw the people. Like, because obviously when you're a kid and you're taking all that candy, I probably felt like scared all of a sudden that you guys were going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
But that was really good. And next, we are going to read the poem. So the poem is called Cotton Candy, and it's by Edward Hirsch, and it's actually from 1950. So like I said, basically the poem is a poem that he wrote about him and his grandpa, just a memory that they had. And so although this poem was written a really long time ago, he wrote it as an adult. Could you just give me a quick retell about what the poem was about?
This guy is walking with his grandpa and he's tasting cotton candy and air, and he's on a bridge.
Yeah, so that's kind of the hard thing about poems, is they're kind of hard to figure out sometimes what they're saying. Especially, have you guys read any poetry yet in your class? No. You do a lot of poetry when you get in high school too, and some of the poems they make you read, the different language that they use is super hard to understand. So that's why I'm having us practice with poems now, so then like kind of next year when you start reading poems more, you'll have a better understanding. It'll be easier for you to kind of understand what's going on. But anyways, now I want you to write down if anything different stands out to you when I read it to you. So it doesn't necessarily, nothing new doesn't necessarily have to stand out to you. Just see if anything pops out differently to you when somebody's reading it to you instead of you reading it to yourself. Cotton candy. We walked on the bridge over the Chicago River for what turned out to be the last time. And I ate cotton candy, that sugary air, that sweet blue light spun out of nothingness. It was just a moment, really, nothing more. But I remember marveling at the sturdy cables of the bridge that held us up, and threading my fingers through the long and slender fingers of my grandfather, an old man from the old world who long ago disappeared into the nether regions. And I remember that 8-year-old boy who had tasted the sweetness of air, which still clings to my mouth and disappears when I breathe. Okay, so what new stood out for you?
This, because I kind of like wondered about why it was the last time. Old world and nether regions, because it reminds me of like a fantasy book and like magic and stuff.
So what do you think he means by when he says for the last time? Because here, let me go back and reread that spot, because you know what, honestly, when I was reading it out loud to you, that stood out to me too. So it's kind of funny that you picked the same thing. For what turned out to be the last time. So he was saying they're walking over the Chicago River on a bridge for what turned out to be the last time. What do you think he meant? And there's no right or wrong answer. It's kind of what you think.
His grandpa died, or the bridge broke and they could no longer walk on it.
Yeah. I think for me, what I got from it, I felt like he meant that his grandpa passed away. Like maybe this was his last time that he ever got to spend with his grandpa.